Alright, I think it's time that I finally address this topic for a YouTube video. I discussed it on stream briefly the other day, but I've had some additional thoughts since the stream, so I thought it'd just be better to just make a whole discussion video. This won't take too long, but we're obviously talking about Bandai's insane brain move to start a new card game, Union Arena. I'm going to talk about Union Arena briefly, but my big discussion is about Bandai as a whole and what they're doing, not really about the game. I think that Union Arena is a cool idea, taking a bunch of different IPs, throwing them together, like Weiss Schwartz, and just making a card game where, your Bleach people can fight your Code Geass people or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. Bringing the whole universe together. That's effectively what Lorcana is doing with Disney, so it's super interesting that they're doing that as well now. But, that's kind of cool. It's kind of alright. I'm sure the game will be fine from a fundamental mechanic standpoint. I really have no interest in playing it because it's Bandai. But, it is a really cool looking game at the very least, so I'm sure a whole bunch of people are going to be excited about it. Alright, now that I've got the whole Union Arena talk out of it, let's talk about the real issue here, or maybe it's not an issue depending on how you look at it. But the whole Bandai Big Brain 5000 IQ thick move they're making with all these different card games. But we do need to put this on a timeline so you guys understand what's happening. So, years ago, Bandai has tried pumping out card games. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I keep this on my shelf because it's really cool. But, they did do the Digi-Battle card game a long, long time ago. And it didn't exactly pop off here on our side of the world, right? And they've tried other card games here and there, and they've failed to stick. Then, eventually, they did the Dragon Ball Super card game. And that was fine. That lived. And, over time, generated really good sales numbers. They found a working formula. So, what do you do when you do a working formula? Do you focus and maintain the health of the game? Or do you make a whole new card game? They chose the latter. Bandai chose, you know what? Digimon looks cool. We can probably do it right this time. And sure enough, around 3 years after DBS came out, Digimon came out. And, Digimon is working well. It has much stronger sales numbers than when DBS came out. And a lot of people are positively into it. Tournaments fill up all the time. That's nice. Anyway, so 2 years after Digimon comes out, One Piece comes out, right? One Piece is currently out and about, and it released around the same time of year, 2 years later, okay, whatever. And from what I understand, One Piece is also having very strong sales numbers, very strong tournament attendance. People are really hyped and excited about the game. That's nice. Way to go. Then, Battle Spirits is, upon us, basically. I believe English release is early 2023. Battle Spirits looks hype, but they saw Digimon be such a huge success that they didn't even wait for One Piece to come out. They said, you know what? One Piece will probably be fine. Let's do Battle Spirits next. So it's like, okay, they pumped out Battle Spirits, and we'll see what happens with that once it comes over here. But again, I'm sure it'll sell out and be great. And with $1 million in prize support at the start of the game to get people in it, that's, you can't go wrong with $1 million, right? That's the theory there. If I were interested in playing Battle Spirits, I would probably play the big tournament. I'd playtest the fuck out of it. I'd win, take the cash prize, invest it in stocks, and call it a day. That's what I would do. And I'm sure that similar people are having similar thoughts. So that's nice. Great. But Battle Spirits hasn't even hit. And we're already on the 5th game in the series here, the Union Arena. Oh man, they're just aggressively pumping the shit out now, and they have all their slotted releases already to start the game off. What was it, 9 different IPs within the first few months? That's that's pretty wild. That's Bandai has some cojones, some really fucking big balls. It's okay. It's okay to have big balls if you think you know what you're doing, right? That's what the world has taught us anyway. And in the middle of all of this, Bandai has decided to release one application to rule them all, the TCG Plus app, where You can have your one Bandai ID and you can play all of these games, every single one, you know? It makes life easier. Instead of having 5 different apps, you got one app that does everything for you. Wow, that sounds pretty cool. It's really cool. The app is working 100%, right? 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 Despite the issues with the app, and I'm sure the app will be working 100% really, really, really soon. They've decided to just go full blown, like 150 fucking percent onto the multi card game strat, and I don't know whether I should applaud them for thinking this 5,000 IQ, or should I be scared because they're gonna burn in flames because they're doing this. Um, in my opinion, and you're free to take this to whatever extreme you want, I think not all 5 of the Bandai card games will succeed. 4 probably will. Let's not forget that Dragon Ball Super, I don't want to use the words it's on its way out. I'm not going to say that. But I have spoken with many DBS people, and they said when Digimon came out, it fucked us. And it's still fucking us. And it sucks because they have to swallow that. And, it's not always a good thing to swallow that kind of stuff. So, yeah, they're not very happy. But on the news of an online platform for DBS, just as the final nail was going in that coffin, they decided, give us an online simulator for DBS to kind of breathe life in the game. Do I think that matters? Only slightly is the answer to that question. Because what's really cool about the Bandai card games is if you think about it really hard for about 12 seconds, you realize that all of the Bandai card games are basically the same. Yes, there's different mechanics on how you play certain things, and damage is done a little bit differently from different card games, and your resources are done a little bit differently between different games. But the keywords are there, the same strategies are there. Frick, what's working in One Piece right now worked in DBS in terms of competitive strategies, and it's worked in Digimon too, just from the preliminary research I've done in One Piece. And I want to use this opportunity to address something else that I have an issue with. A lot of people have said they are upset with the direction that Digimon is going. I believe the most recent person to air his grievances is Louis the Panda. Everyone is talking to me about that video. I've not watched that video. I don't really care to watch that video, to be honest. But, apparently, people are feeling the game is getting a little too ridiculous. And I kind of agree from the point that the first few formats were kind of skillful, kind of tapered off a little bit. BT8 was really skillful, and then it tapered off from there. And the game has been going on a downhill slope of just, craziness, power creep, and just uninteractability. And while the same skilled players are doing, consistently well, because there is a skill gap to the game, you're getting a lot of people that can all of a sudden, they play a War Greymon X deck, and they feel like the best player in the world. You know what I mean? And they're not. Just being honest. And I'm not knocking anyone's achievements. I'm really not. If you have topped in BT9, BT10, EX3, good for you. If that was your first top and you're happy with yourself, I'm not going to take that away from you. You deserve to be happy with the accomplishments you've earned. And that's great. But we can't sit here and say BT9 was Digimon's most skillful format, because that would be lying. It would be a big lie. One of the biggest lies I've ever heard. So instead of Bandai fixing Digimon, what are they doing instead of addressing power creep and making the game more skillful? They're giving us new games. They're saying, if you find that Digimon is getting too out of control for you and you no longer enjoy it, we have 3 new games that you can just try and have fun with. And I just, instead of fixing the game, they're just doing something else. When Digimon came out, Dragon Ball Super was spiraling. And from what I understand, the card game right now is kind of, okay. But not as skillful as it was when the game first came out. That's for fucking sure. And it's hard to do that with power creep, but like Yu-Gi-Oh's found a way. Like Yu-Gi-Oh right now is one of its most skillful formats ever. It sucks if you want to play anything that's not tier elements, but you know, you're it's whatever. It's great. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now. My whole point of this video is Bandai is doing something very interesting, and they're trying to combat the big three horsemen of card games while making this game, the Union Arena, seemingly to combat things that are coming out very soon that will change the card game world. Lorcana. And maybe more hypercore Lorcana a little bit, maybe. But Bandai at least has the track record of learning from their mistakes if they're not, you know, strong right out the get-go. They are somewhat open to player feedback, which is great. I just hope they don't fucking crush everything. I don't think they will. I have confidence that Bandai will make the majority of the right choices and enough choices for all these card games to preserve. And if one of them fails, they still got 4 out of 5. That's 80%. That's still an A, I guess. So that's nice. It's good to have A's, you know. But I think Bandai is going to be fine. They're not going to stop printing money, literally speaking, because card games are not expensive to make. Just by making a card game with different IPs, it's going to sell automatically because people are going to try to get the IPs that they want. And then when they have the IPs, Bandai is going to make more, and they're going to just keep selling those. And we don't even know if this is the end-all be-all, if Union Arena is it, or if Bandai is going for card game number 6. At this point, we have no idea. I assume they're going to keep going. I think they're going to take a small break with the 3 new card games, One Piece, Battle Spirits, and Union, on the horizon. I'm sure we'll get another one soon. I'm confident. Or they'll reboot, maybe Dragon Ball or something. I have no idea. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys later. That's my little rant/discussion about the Bandai Union Arena multiple card game topic. Have a nice day.